Hello, welcome to the One Life Church devotional series where we cover the entire Bible in 20 months. Well, today's chapters are Psalm 98 and 99. Now, I'm back here in the Natal Midlands. It's a beautiful morning. It's crisp. I'm about to go on a walk with my dogs, and I'm going to heed the call of Psalm 98 today. This is what Psalm 98 says: sing to the Lord a new song. As the psalmist said yesterday, God is worthy of fresh, new, expansive praise. Now, the amazing thing about this psalm is that there is a striking parallel between this and the Song of Mary in Luke 1:46 through 45. Let's go through some of the similarities. His right hand and his holy arm have worked salvation for him, the psalmist says. Mary says, in verse 51 of chapter 1, he has performed mighty deeds with his arm. The Lord has made his salvation known and revealed his righteousness to the nations, the psalmist says. And he has remembered his love and his faithfulness to Israel. Mary says, he has helped his servant Israel, remembering to be merciful to Abraham and his descendants. And so Mary probably had this psalm in her heart while she was singing her song. Shout to the Lord, all the earth. Burst into jubilant song. Shout for joy before the Lord. Let the rivers clap their hands and their mountains sing for joy. When I got there in a couple of moments, I'm going to imagine the rivers and the mountains and the hills praising God. I think if we see Mary's song in the light of this song, it really gives a lot of meaning to this, because we praise God for who he is, but when this psalmist has some influence on the coming of Jesus, or the celebration of the coming of Jesus, it gives us a whole new meaning to our worship, doesn't it? Now, verse 99 starts like this. Not quite as jubilant, it's far more victorious. The Lord reigns. This is the third psalm that has started this way. The Lord reigns. He's not just passively watching the earth go by. No, he's active. And let the nations tremble. Let them praise your great and awesome name. He is holy. Now, I love this verse, verse 5. Exalt the Lord our God and worship at his footstool. I can remember when I was a young boy, there was a song that came out, worship at his footstool. And I never knew what that was. It was like, is there like a piece of furniture in heaven? I mean, what is that? Now, the Ark of the Covenant is called his footstool. Jerusalem in Lamentations 2:1 is called his footstool. And the earth as a whole in Isaiah 66 is called his footstool. But what is he getting at here? Well, I think because in verse 1, he says, there he sits enthroned on the cherubim. I think he's talking about the ark. He's talking about the presence of God. So he's basically saying, worship at the presence of God. Worship, worship at the presence of God. Worship at his feet. Then he says, now Moses and Aaron were among his priests. Samuel was among those who called on his name. They called on the Lord and he answered them. And then it ends by saying this: he is a forgiving God, though he punished their misdeeds. That's a beautiful description of how God is. He doesn't let us get away with our nonsense. He accepts us in his presence. He forgives us, but he's righteous and he's holy. And so your deeds, your sin needs to be punished. And we understand that our sin was taken by Jesus. It was punished on Jesus. And as we in him and as we ask for forgiveness, what God has done is he has heaped our sin on his son, and he has dealt with our sin. And that has been the means and the parallel truth that runs together with our forgiveness. Anyway, I trust you have a great day. I'm heading on to go and do some worship. I will see you tomorrow morning.